Look at this day. It's hope. There's hope when I see the sunshine, I see the green grass, I hear those birds. I just can't get over those birds that God gives us to welcome the day. Well, good morning, Downsview. This is the second day of April of 2020. Another gorgeous day out there, as I showed you from our balcony here over at our apartment. I was reading at the 74th Psalm this morning, and I was struck by one of the things that it's just one of those overriding truths that we just always want to not only be aware of, but just to keep coming back to in the midst of whatever's going on. Psalm 74 and verse 22 says, "Arise, O God, defend your cause. Remember how the foolish scoff at you all day long." I thought, yeah, just arise, O God, defend your cause. People are scoffing at you nowadays that where is the Lord and what's going on, and all of these tired old arguments of, if God was good, he wouldn't be doing this. If God was powerful, he'd do something about it. If God was wise, he would make this all change. Where is God? And when God is just used as a punching bag and a kickball for excuses for us to believe and proclaim things that people have already believed all along anyway, and they feel like whatever the latest health crisis is just comes along and vindicates what they're thinking. Friends, it's so good for us as Christians not only to be confident in the sovereign, benevolent, absolute reign of King Jesus, but it's good as I just read it in the scriptures there, and I pray, arise, O God, defend your cause, defend thy cause. I hear the King James Version in my mind. And part of that is not so much that God has to vindicate himself, but when the scriptures call for that, it reminds us, frankly, what it is, what it ought to be, what we really are living for. It's the honor and the majesty and the proclamation of the honor and majesty of our King. And to be people of God and Christian folks who are, look, we're always going to have more questions than answers. And there's always going to be a new twist in the challenge or the threat to Christianity, and real biblical, solid, gospel-centered Christianity that knows that God is really God. Friends, just encourage yourself this morning again that one day all of this creation will just scream that God is, and God is who he says he is. I am who I am. When God gives that beautiful title to himself, it's the very reality of the existence, the isness, to quote R.C. Sproul, the isness of God. When the Bible tells us in the book of Hebrews that if any man would please God, he must believe that he is, and that he is the rewarder of those who diligently seek him. The writer to the Hebrews, I think, means more than you must believe that God is. You must believe that God is who the Bible constantly says he is, which is God telling us who he says he is. I'm a little pumped up this morning, aren't I? I just heard this in my Bible reading today, and I just looked out at this majestic morning, and I thought, Lord, just defend your cause. Give us grace to defend your cause graciously, patiently, perseveringly. I just saw an incident in one of the local stores that I was by the other day, and a security guard was having to ask a very disruptive customer or non-customer to leave. And I went over and watched, and I kind of looking at the security guard, trying to give some sense, like, we got your back, man. And I thought, God is far more than that. I'll help you if you need help. I mean, God's the one that we're watching, and we're just watching God take over this world. But I also saw something in this security guard that he was just hanging in there, persevering, wasn't going to let it go with all of the specious arguments that this difficult person was giving, and he had to leave the store, and he just hung in there and persevered and persevered. And I thought, yeah, stay the cause, Christian Church. Stay the course, Downsview Baptist Church. Hang in there, stick with it. As we said in our devotion on Facebook Live last night from Psalm 69, hanging in, hanging tough, and then hanging on. And just hang on, hang in there, Christians. Have every reason to be confident that God will one day arise and ultimately vindicate his name. And it's worth us praying for. And it's worth us praying for with confidence that our lives really are in the hand of just this kind of a God. Be encouraged this day, dear friends. Trust God. Cheers.